Hey everybody, Fubs7 here and welcome back to the channel for the first ever Fubs interviews. The developers of Divided Reigns, a game that I reviewed a few weeks ago and I played the full story on my Twitch channel. They are here with me to do an interview about the game. We have several questions, some from my part, some from the community. But guys, if you really enjoy this type of JRPG games, this is a must because we dwell into so many things, especially spoilers. There's some spoilers, not a lot. There's some spoilers, so I really hope that you guys listen to it. There's no visual things from the game, so it's just three guys talking about the game. You can hear it, put it on the background, and listen to it. I'm pretty sure you won't regret. Please leave your comments down below if you have any questions. And yeah, that's basically it. So let's jump to the interview. And before we jump, I have to say thank you so much to Adam and Andrew. Adam is the one with the hat. I have to say thank you to them for giving the time to do this interview with me. So thank you so much, and I will see you after the transition.
He is a popular streamer and he's played this whole game. And what's really cool about his channel is it's kind of like story time with Fubu almost. He plays the game and he has about maybe 10 people who are religious. They watch him nonstop. Then, of course, he has his other people that drop in all the time, get raids, all that kind of stuff. What I really liked about watching them is their whole group, their whole channel was really into Divided Reigns. They were trying to guess what happens next. They're trying to make up parts of the story. So it was a lot of fun watching them. So they all got so invested that they want to ask us a bunch of questions about the game, kind of behind the scenes stuff. So if you haven't played Divided Reigns and you're interested, I don't know, there might be spoilers in this, so just kind of beware. But for the most part, I'm sure his questions are not going to be like, hey, so the very bad, the very end guy, I'm sure he's not going to completely blow it out of the water, but just expect some mild spoilers in this, okay? But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy.
Okay, so yeah, just let's get ready with this then. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to you guys for, first of all, giving me a chance to do what I did with the game. I have to say, you guys were the first ones to ask me to do that, to try the game out, to promote the game, and that is sort of something that I wanted to do. That's a big step in my career if it goes as a streamer. So if I ever become really successful, you guys were the first one. I have to say thank you to all of you guys. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for that. That's why I really want to help you. Like I just have to say this story for the people at your side because you don't know this. So I'm gonna start with a very funny story that I'm sure Adam remembers of this. So basically, I was streaming Final Fantasy, and there was one of my viewers, Doc Watton, and he was saying, "Oh, dude, I don't understand why more people don't come to your stream because you're a smart guy, you're not doing silly stuff, you're not showing your body." And I go like, well, maybe if I do like it, because I got my man boobs. So if I do a small cleavage, maybe I'll get some more follows. And I just go near the webcam and I put it down. I do a man boob, and as soon as I do that, Adam, boom, follows. He goes, "You deserve that one." So that was
follow command.
Yeah.
This follow thing's a little llama on the screen saying follow.
So that was the perfect start. So I just wanted to open with this funny story. It's something that I always tell people, and I will always tell people because that was one of the highlights that I had on my stream. But now I want to start when I'm talking to you guys. I want to start from the beginning. So I know you guys already have had one game. This is your second game. So I want to know, who is Nostalgia Games Addict? Who are you guys? How did you make this company? Who are you?
So the short answer is it's my business. It's my small business. I started it. Einlanzer was my first game. Einlanzer really was just a passion project for me. I honestly was not sure if anyone would buy it, if anyone would play it, if anyone would care. I've written a few fantasy books, self-published, nothing huge. I've kind of been a creative writer for pretty much my whole life. And I made this game, and it's kind of at an interesting point in my life where I was ending my first marriage. And I remember, I don't even think I've ever told Adam this. She was like, one of those bad moments where she's, we were about at the end of our relationship, but she says, if you tell me one more thing about this game, like I'm gonna lose my mind. So I was already like really talking about it with her. I was into it. I was making this thing. It was almost like therapy for me.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it. I remember starting the game and thinking, oh, this is a little thing. I'm never going to finish it. And then I ended up spending like 3.5 years on it. And I calculated it's about 3,000 hours on that first game.
Wow.
Made it myself. I realized I had to have a business to publish it under if I was going to make money on it. So I formed Nostagia Addict Games. It was literally just me. And I released Islancer, and it got way more publicity and way more sales and feedback and people playing it than I ever imagined. And really, Islancer is kind of proof of concept for our second game, Divided Brains. It proved to me that it is viable. People would buy it. People would play it. So I can really sink my time and my money and my effort into a really good game. And Divided Brains is kind of the culmination of everything I learned, and Adam is a big part of second game. Yeah.
Okay. That's perfect. It segues exactly to my second question. And there's a funny story behind it, because when we are at Celeste's house for the first time, when you go to the second floor, there is a lot of Easter eggs, and one of them is the big one, Einlanzer. And it happened to be on that day, I did some research about you guys because I didn't know you guys. And I saw they already had. And I remember I was like, oh guys, this here, Einlanzer, it's their first game. And Costas was in my stream and goes, they have another game? Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. And I think you went to do some research because he didn't say anything. But we had a very good time on that little room, because we did notice a lot of things that I think they are your inspirations. I saw Yuna. There's the big picture. And this leads to my second question. What inspirations did you get? What inspired you to make this game? What games inspired you?
I think when we started this game, keep in mind, Andrew, you just got to give you a recap about Einlanzer and just how exhausting and how much work that took, and how it put his fiance in the war room with him and stuff like that. And it's true. I mean, it is a lot of work to make a video game. So he knew that, and he wanted me to be able to show that, I have commitment, and I can show I have artistic value and everything I can bring to the new game. And basically, I was really pitching to him. I wanted a game that was like Final Fantasy IV. That's, Final Fantasy II, whichever way you say it. It's the one with Cecil, Kane, Golbez.
Yeah, there's that big problem, because there's in Japan, in the Asian countries, it's one way, and in America it's a different way. So just for the ones that don't know that.
It's really confusing.
Yes, it is.
But that's what we wanted. We wanted to do something that is very warlike. Basically take Final Fantasy IV, but make the war a lot bigger, a lot more important, a lot more real too.
Yes.
Real emotions, real consequences, and from there, Andrew took a lot of his inspiration. Mine was definitely Final Fantasy X.
Yes.
You can see a lot of that in the gameplay, especially, and also in a lot of the dungeons, the traps, and the puzzles and stuff like that. And then Final Fantasy IV. Whereas Andrew, he was big on Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger.
Yes.
So he's responsible for those little small sprites on the world map.
Okay.
Awesome, by the way.
Yes, that was very, very different, because usually,
fun watching them.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I have to say this just in case I don't forget. I really enjoyed it, because when you play this type of game and you go to the world map, it's just one, and you just go with them. And this one, you have everyone, and it's really funny that Habar, being the oldest, he always stays behind. So that was beautiful.
So savage.
Yeah.
But and also Final Fantasy VI. If you play Einlanzer, you'll definitely see Final Fantasy VI kind of tropes. But obviously Andrew's going to throw in his parts too, and I think we picked the best Final Fantasy games to really focus on, bring the life into the Body Reigns, and that was the big thing. We wanted to make a more realistic Final Fantasy in a way.
Okay, okay, I get it. But I think there's something not very Final Fantasy of it that you made it your own. And I was really happy at the beginning, and I have to say sorry for this, but I got a little bit disappointed. That didn't ruin the game, but I got a little bit disappointed with your fighting system. At the beginning, it seemed something really unique, because if I'm remembering this right, you guys said, "Oh, you have to look at the character and you have to analyze with your like the way it is. You have to analyze and see what's the weakness." But then when you get Habar, you have like let's say a scan to see what type of magic abilities the enemy is weak to, and then when you get Celeste, she shows you the weaknesses for the sorry, the weakness for the physical attacks. And I'll be honest, I got a little bit disappointed because I stopped, and I will have a question about the art style and all that a little bit later. But I stopped not. I stopped paying attention. I just looked. Oh, it's beautiful. And it's like this. I started looking like it's beautiful instead of, oh, he's like this. Maybe he's weak like this. And I thought at the beginning of the game that was such a unique take on the fighting system that then you changed. And my question is, did you think the fighting system was too hard and you wanted to make it easier for people? Or why did you then went a little bit of a different route?
So those scans, as you called them, the magic scan and the
Yes.
physical type scan,
Yes.
actually came pretty late in development.
Okay.
They weren't in there in the beginning for the majority of the development, and then it was Adam's idea. Adam was like, "Hey, let's do a scan," and he kind of brought it up a couple times, and I was like, maybe. Eventually, I found out how to do it, and I was like, I'll throw them in there. And I thought they were a good addition. I didn't think people would use them that much, and the people in our discussion boards kind of talked, saying like, "Well, I only want to use Celeste now because I want to, figure out the attack type weaknesses." I really enjoy probing the weaknesses, and like even like I designed it, but I still forget later. I'm like, oh, what was this guy weak to? I think it was reach, and then you could kind of probe it. So you like do one reach attack. Oh, not reach. Maybe it's high attacks. I thought people would still do that and not think of it as too much of a detriment. Have to kind of probe for the weaknesses. But people are like, I just use Celeste and use the attack type. Also, it uses a turn, and it does basically no damage, both the spell and the attack type.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
So I didn't think they would use them that much.
I never used Analyze. Maybe it's because I'm a guy. I don't ask for directions. But I always forget it's there. And like you said, it's such a weak attack. It feels kind of a waste to use it. With a lot of the enemies, one bad RNG turn, and you could probably end up in a bad situation in any fight. So
That is true. I had those.
I just run into it full speed and pick my highest attack and just hope I'm right. So,
Yeah.
In general,
Yeah.
the design for the battle system, and I did this for my first game, Iron Laser 2. I really can't stand it when you start our RPG. This goes across the board, every single different style, every single type, even like top-down tactical. You get in there and you have like 30 health, and the enemies do like 1 damage, and you're like, come on, this is like an insult. Like, come on, this is absolutely no challenge whatsoever. Like, come on. And then maybe like 3 hours into the gameplay, it maybe starts to get a little challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand that.
Okay.
I want it to be challenging pretty much from the get-go. Like, obviously, you got to learn the system and stuff.
Yes, of course.
And I usually skew it a little bit towards too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably just because I know the game and I know the mechanics to begin with. That's the same thing with Ironlands, where I had to make it easier over time.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Because I find really interesting that you said that people started using Celeste, and obviously if people start using Celeste, they also use Habar because of that ability. But the thing is that sometimes in my situation, I used characters that I just liked them because of their personality or their background. Like we have Gal. When we first met Gal, Monk is always a good character in any video game. I think a Monk it's always very good. And I usually tend to put people that I like. And one of the things I have to say about your characters, and I want to take this one out from the beginning is Gal, the LGBT character, along with Mazrat. I have to say one thing that I think it's really important. First of all, you don't see a lot of LGBT characters, especially in RPGs. In the more recent years, you've seen that, but you can't imagine 20 years ago if, let's say, if Cecil from Final Fantasy was an LGBT character. 20 years ago, that would never happen. I think the world had evolved that way. So I want to know, how important was it for you guys to put an LGBT character in the game? And also, I just have to say, congratulations the way that you treat the relationship. You don't make it something, oh my god, they're LGBT. Not just, oh, they're LGBT, yeah, whatever. They're people. It's completely normal. So I think you gave that thing in the world of the game. So
Thanks. That's good feedback and that's good praise. I appreciate that. I am a straight man. Adam is a straight man. I have a lot of friends in that community, though. And if you have friends in that community and you get to know them, after, like, maybe at first you're like, that's kind of all you can think about, like, oh, this is a gay man or whatever. But then you get to know them and it just doesn't matter. You forget about it after a while. It is not who they are.
It's just a man. First you think it's a gay man, and then it's just a man. Yeah, it's completely normal. Yeah.
I wanted to capture that with Mazrit and Gaul. The relationship is very real. Like, the focus is not the fact that they're gay. The focus is their relationship.
Yep.
Despite, like, I could have made Mazrit a woman or Gaul a woman, but, like, I wanted to push a few boundaries. And in my first game, I thought it was very unique that I had two of the main characters married.
Okay.
You don't really see that. Usually they're all, like, single, like, 18 to 20-year-olds, and there's romance all over the place, and it's like, ugh, sick of it. I had a married couple in my first game. In this game, I wanted to have a married couple and experiment with a gay couple. That's kind of where it came from.
Okay, that's like I said before. I think it's very inclusive. I think people, especially people that are LGBT, they will relate a lot with the game. Even there was this one time that that Adam got into the stream, and he knows what I'm gonna say now.
I know what you're talking about.
And at the beginning, when you start creating, there's a bit of conflict. Not a bit. There's a strong conflict between Celeste and Shakar, and the people at the stream, we were all laughing and making fun that we were shipping Shakar and Celeste. We wanted them to be a couple. Yeah. And the funny thing is, just a few hours later, we did find an LGBT couple. So I think that was we were starting to guess. And what I mentioned before, you didn't make a big fuss about it, and I praise that. I really praise that because it shows that we're evolving. But you did focus, despite the game having a lot of fantasy elements, you guys focus in really real stuff. So let's go. Aelfred's character arc. I think it's the 5 stages of grief, for example. Then you have the racism with the Apians, which I think it's beautiful the way that you turn it around when they go back to Unity. I think it's beautiful the way that you reversed everything. What are the importance of these elements that you put in the game, from the depression, the racism, or other issues that I'm not mentioning about that you guys want to add? How important was that?
Say something, Adam?
I can take a little bit of this.
Yeah, sorry.
So a lot of the story implements the racism against the Abians, the LGBTQ. I mean, all that stuff really originated with Andrew. The Bayans was the first thing we discussed and agreed on. In fact, the game was actually maybe called something like Lost Hope or Regain Hope.
Okay.
And what it was going to be originally was the whole game is about raising the Bayans from servitude or oppression and stuff like that. Okay. And obviously it morphed into its own different game, but so that was a major focus of the game. That's the reason why it's so polished at the very beginning and it stays with you the entire game, because that is the main point of Divided Reigns. And yes, we wanted to make sure that when it comes to racism, you know, it's always about perspective. It's always about point of view. There's always a different side to the story, and that's what you see in the game. And I think, and really, I don't want to say anything too much, but really, when it comes to racism, everyone's the same. Everyone's the same in a way. So,
Exactly. That's why I don't want to give a big spoiler.
right.
But sorry. Yes. You were saying something?
I'm sorry, but that's basically it. I mean, and so we talked about all this and agreed with it, and I thought it was really good. But LGBTQ, he popped that one on me. Me and Andrew are
Yes.
very different politically, like polar opposites. And he came to me asking like I would, like I would be against her or something. I'm like, no, it's fine. Just like you said, just make it natural. Make it like, because I got gay friends too. Just make it just like them,
Yeah.
And I think he did a really good job. It reminded me a lot of his first game with the husband and wife, to be
Hmm.
honest. Their relationship with each other. They were kind of at odds with each other a little bit. And really, I think Gaul and Masterit's story in this game is phenomenal. I think their arcs are just, it's incredible. It's
Yes.
believable. It's sad. It's This whole game's kind of tragic a lot of times.
Can I just, sorry to interrupt. I have to
Yeah.
say this before I forget this. This was sadly one of those moments because the game is very big and there were some moments that I had to play off stream because I wanted to move along. The story was too good. I couldn't stop playing. Basically, I didn't want to grind for 5 hours, for example. And one of the things that got me really sad that I didn't put on stream because I remember Adam, you going to my stream and say, I can't wait to see you tear up with the game. And I'm like, I'm a manly man. I'm not gonna tear up. I'm not gonna tear up. And I was doing quite well until that part that Mazret is spiritly wounded, and Gal has to go to like spirit plane to try and heal him. And I have to be honest, I teared up because who hasn't been in the place of Mazret? Like, we want forgiveness from the person that we love. And I was like, thank God I'm not streaming this. I don't want people seeing me tearing up. And that's like, and again, you made everything normal. You didn't make it something fantastical. And I was relating, despite the fact as well, I'm a straight man. I was relating to LGBT couple. I was relating to them, and I was tearing up. And when they say let's start over again as friends, of course they end up. I'm not going to say that because I want to spoil it. But but I I felt like what you're saying before. I felt hope in their relationship. I felt everything is
Yes.
going to be okay, and that was just amazing. That was really amazing. So I have to say kudos to you for writing
Oh yeah.
how you wrote that.
Thank
It
you.
was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I
Say a
tell you
couple
what.
things.
Yeah, I was about to say Andrew would probably be really good to take over on about the race. I mean, about all that stuff
Yeah.
because you put a lot of a lot went into it. Every word matters.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna let him
I know, and thank you. That segues to my next question. You guys are doing a great job for me. Thank you. Everything comes around. I remember you told that everything comes around,
Couple
and
things real quick before we
yes,
move on.
yes,
First of all, I just want to say that I really enjoyed making Shakar like straight up racist in the beginning. It's just straight up racist. She it's almost like she doesn't want to change. She doesn't even realize she's changing. But then, like when she buys the forehead necklace for Naomi,
yes.
it's almost like she's already not thinking of Naomi as an Abayan anymore. She's now thinking of her. Oh, that's Naomi. I promised Naomi I'd get her a gift or whatever.
Yes.
And then later when she kind of is like racist again, and Alfred's like, how do you feel about Naomi? She's like, she's different.
Yeah.
No, she's not.
Yeah, no, it's just this also I was gonna say this before. I really like the touch, and sorry, this is gonna be a spoiler for the people that haven't played. And I really like the fact that in the end you found out that Abians are just humans with an infection. I think that was beautiful. That was so. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expect. I got. Yes, that's a big spoiler. I'm sorry about that, guys. Hey, this game has been out for almost 1 month. You had time to play this. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
we warned you.
Yes, we did. No, I had to say that. I got a lot of things right. I got a lot of things right. One of them, I'm really proud of myself, but it was Trellick. I found out about Trellick. I found I did find out about Trellick because I can't put it right. Like I don't remember right, but I remember there's one part that when you talk, I think it's with Silene, and she says bringing unity. No, another dimension called unity. Blah blah. That thing there, and then when they find Trellick the next time, he says, I want peace in the world. I want to bring unity to this world." And I was on stream. I was like, Leah was there. I was like, Leah, he wants to bring unity to the world. The other dimension is called unity. I'm obsessed with this guy, and I was right. When we find out that he's the third one that hears the voice, I was like, oh my god, I'm so good. I'm so good. I managed to get this. But there was another thing that was my mod, Leah. She's like my right hand when it comes to streaming. She told me one last night that I didn't even think about it, and I think it's my fault because I spaced the game too much. At the beginning of the game, when you have the first fight with Ralt, like when you are trying to say the right words, but when basically Ralt tells Alfred you're not a captain anymore, and Shakar acts really quick, and she throws the smoke bomb to run away. Then later you found out that she's a herald, and then you realized what she did. She knew they were gonna frame Alfred, so maybe because she already had feelings for Alfred, she acted in love to save him. So that was all Leah. That's not me. That's all Leah that she given that analysis. Basically, the question here: how hard was it? Because you kind of remind me. You know Stephen Moffat. I don't know if you know about Stephen Moffat. You know, of course you do, because you're writing just like him. Yes, Doctor Who, exactly. Hey, you're my favorite now. You're my favorite now. No, but because this reminded me a lot of Doctor Who, because you have, let's say, 5 seasons, and there's something on the first season that's only resolved on the 4th or 5th season, and I felt the way that this game goes, it's just like that. Something happens in the beginning, and it starts solving it in the middle. Basically, how hard it is to maintain. Do you have like a wall full of post-its, like to connect things? How does that work?
That's kind of interesting because I remember.
Why you kept saying Doctor. That's why you kept saying Doctor Who all through development. I was like, what are you talking about?
Really early on, one of the very first people to playtest the game and try it, they were getting really upset at that Ralt scene, the throne room scene, because they were like, "Wait, I thought this was his childhood friend. His childhood friend wouldn't act this way and wouldn't do this way." And like people were getting mad, and they're like, "Screw this game!" And I'm like, wait for it.
Just wait for it.
So we actually had to go back and kind of tweak the language to really imply a little bit more that like he's like something else is going on here. He's not just being a dick.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had a little more language to hint at that.
Okay, so basically people were mad at that, which
Your friend wouldn't act that way. Yeah.
no, I also found that weird, but I realized that to boost up the drama, and I have to say, this is not even a question, it's just popped up right now. I have to say that the music in most of the game is beautiful, but in that scene, it intensifies so much that situation. I was sorry, but you know that there's a meme that things escalated, something like that. Now I don't remember the meme, but things got really escalated really a lot on that scene, and the song was a key factor. The dialogue was beautiful, the situation itself was very good, but what shined in that moment was the music. The soundtrack was doing its job like it did most of it. I was gonna ask something different, but now I have to ask you this. I think Adam, you were the one that took most of the music. How did you get inspired for that? Did you watch like a movie with a similar scene, and what's your inspiration on that?
Well, I mean, really, with the music, it was all. I mean, it's a hodgepodge of different composers.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through a lot of different commissions to get all that work done. But really, it was kind of a blend between me and Andrew. We would kind of go back and forth a lot. Like, no, we like this one better. I like this one better. And had to compromise. That's what you do when you're a two-man indie. And you know, me, I like to have different music. as much as possible.
Hmm.
So even one scene, you might go through 4 different music tracks. Um, but I feel music sets the tone in a text-based game. You got to have emotional music to match what's going on in the game. Because if you don't, it can just get kind of boring just reading it. Even if the story stands out,
Yes.
it can
Yes.
really hurt if the music's not there.
Yes, exactly. And I think the music really, really helped. I remember when I was in the towns in Hesarabi, there was this song. I felt like on the first town that you reach on Hesarabi, there's this song, and it has a blend of instruments. I was listening to that. I could spend like 2 hours chilling to this song because this way it's just I was and people were reacting so well to the music. I had Hakusho, I had Lee, I had Soul, I had Costas. Everyone was saying, "Oh my God, this song is so good." Everyone was reacting positively. The feedback was great from my community, and what I really want to know now is what feedback do you have from the game, from the people that bought the game, from the community in general? I want to know what people are thinking about that.
About the music specifically, or just in
In
general?
general, I want to know. I want to know in general.
For the most part, we've gotten very positive, wonderful reviews. Early on, we got a couple that were frustrating. Somebody played the game for like less than an hour, and then complained that provoke didn't work 100% of the time. It's like not supposed to. Like you bought an epic game that's like 70, 80 hours long, and that's whatever, people can write their own reviews.
Yeah, of course, of
For the
course.
most part, like you, people have been incredibly supportive and very accepting of the game. And after working on it for 4 years, nothing means more than reading a positive review. I go through and I read every single one that comes in, usually 2 and 3 times, just because it means the world to us.
Great.
Not just that, I mean, we put them up on our website too. I mean, we're really proud. You're not supposed to respond to them, but we respond to them, and we respond more to positive reviews than we do negative too. But if there is a negative one and it has anything that we could possibly do that would make the game better for them, they had something to predict on, we fix it immediately.
We don't get
Um,
defensive. We listen. We try to make
Hey,
it a better game.
listen,
it's
guys.
fine, and if they change their review, that's great. If they don't, that's fine. But
I'm just gonna say this.
that saves someone else who might have the same problem with the game as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. I'm waiting for my 5K kills to pop because I already did that one. I already did that. I'm waiting for that one. Yeah, but hey, it's normal. I think when you do, we have a saying here in Portugal. I don't know if it's the same in America, but you can't please the Trojans and the Greeks.
Oh no.
We can't please everyone. So we just hope for more positive things than negative things. And sometimes people just want to complain for the sake of complaining. And I think that one from the provoke, I think it's supposed to be because it's like in real life. You can try and go outside and provoke someone. Sometimes you're going to be successful and you're going to provoke people, and some other times you won't provoke anyone. It's going to be like, who the hell are you? And just go. So I think that's very real. That's very real.
What you doing out in town provoking fights?
Exactly. So now, so guys, now I have some community questions from my community. It's going to be a little bit random. There's no exactly segue. I think most of the segues you guys helped me doing the segues, so I didn't need to worry about that. So first of all, let's start with my mod, Leah the Hatless. She wants to ask you guys favorite character and why.
Andrew, you want to go first?
All my babies. I like them all.
Yeah, it's like picking your favorite son.
Favorite, like to mess around with the build and like just messing with the battle system would probably be Gaul for me. I like you can actually build him almost any way you want. You can build him to be a tank.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a couple skills that help him be tanky. Throw on the perfection. What's it called? Provoke ring or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ring of aggression. That's it. And he'll start getting more attacks and then counter strike. You can build him tanky.
Mm-hmm.
You can build him to do build him with really high magic attack power, and use his key strikes, and they do really a lot of damage. And then you can also, of course, build him to be an attacker, and he excels in all 3 of those categories. I really think he's fun. Really fun kit. I also think Mazrit has a really fun kit with his barriers. And I feel like people don't use Ralts much. Ralts has a really fun kit. His elemental control is really good. If you take like Celeste and just like buffer to High Heaven, use Mazrit's True Strike, have Ralts do one of his elemental buffs on her, have her do counter whatever the thing that boosts her counter hit, then have someone help her, maybe do tumble. You will do tens of thousands of damage with her, and Ralts can really do a good job with that. And his special ability that he can give elemental defenses to everyone, and you can choose it. You don't even have to do the paradigm shift. You can choose whatever elemental defense you want. It can really change the battle. So give Ralts a shot too.
I like Ralts a lot. I used them at the end of the game. I have to be honest. When I was doing my grind for the 5K, I said I'm gonna put the magic out, because magic sometimes when you do the group attacks it takes a little bit long, and I was trying to speed things up. And I started playing with Ralts, and I was like, "Whoa, this is actually really, really good, really good." I really liked it. Adam, your turn.
Naomi. I guess having the foreknowledge or knowing what happens to her in the story, just how tragic and just how her life is just so many roadblocks. I mean, she's the one ray of hope in that game. If you can't tell, Divided Range is very dark, it's very gloomy. It's during a world war, genocide, I mean, all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, it's not a fun world to live in, and she's our only ray of hope, and you see her descend into that world, too, as she grows older.
That being said, let me add something to that. It does have a lot of darkness. It does have some gloom and some war and lots of tragedy. But at the same time, I never wanted it to feel down and feel depressing. It always feels like, even though you're dealing with real dark things, it always should feel like you're encouraged, like you're actually making a difference, despite all of the horrible things that are going on. I always wanted it to still have light in it, and Naomi is a huge part of that ray of light in the party.
Part of it.
Yeah, because I remember when you're in Unity, and I have to say, sorry, I'm blanking on the name of the last. It was one of your favorite characters. Now I'm blanking on his name. The one that Orson. Thank you. I was Orson. Yes, and because
fun to hate.
Yeah. It's and this is one of the things that we end up talking at the end of the game. I talk with Adam on my stream. Orson doesn't like. We understand as soon as we progress. We understand why he's like that, and everyone was putting him aside. And Naomi was the one that didn't. She was always going there. I even remember. Oh, I let him go because if he doesn't want to be here, you'll have to give him a reason to be with us, and then we save him, and then he joins us. And I really like Orson, but I think I said this at the beginning, and I continue saying my favorite is Shakar. I boosted the hell out of her. She could kill everything when hit. She was amazing, and I continue as the game progress. I continue feeling the way I felt. I maybe didn't write her like that, but I felt that she was a representation of the player, because I noticed that a lot of things that I was thinking, Shakar was saying after, and I like the way she interacted with everyone. I like how bad she felt when she was found out to be the spy, what she risked to save everyone. So yeah, I can still say she's really, really my favorite. She's really my favorite. But your picks are so good as well. Your picks are so good because every character is really, really unique. And about the rays of hope and not being down, I remember when Celeste went to Karen, and you guys meet the king for the first time, the king, and you give the hint out they're gonna end up together. So hey, you can find love in the middle of a bad world. So that was also very good. Okay, second question from Soulstraw. He's asking if you guys will add more side quests or mini games to the game. because we have some side quests like save the Abians before you cross the fort. You also have the Poe mini game where you have to find the chests. Soulstraw wants to know: will you be adding more things to make the world more concise?
Yeah, the short answer is yeah.
Yeah,
We
great.
we wanted to have more. The scope of the game got bigger and bigger and bigger through development, and we
Yes.
wanted to have more side quests. But just finishing the whole game in and of itself became a massive,
Yeah,
a
and
huge project. So
yeah, and for two people alone, it's really hard. Um, then,
yes, we will add more. We will also do seasonal events that'll have
oh,
mini
seasonal
games and
event.
fun stuff. And
Oh,
yeah,
that
seasonal
that
events.
that I didn't know. I knew about that you're planning. Well, the DLC. It's seasonal. Okay, that's really nice. That's really nice.
We do have a lot of in-game content that we're
In-game.
going to be adding.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, I guess it's going to be side quests, but it's going to be side quests kind of like Final Fantasy X that you do right before the final boss fight,
Yeah.
pretty much. So,
Yeah.
but as far as like interjecting anything into the main story side quest, probably not.
Okay.
We're just going to kind of stick to the in-game stuff. Because by
Okay.
then, everyone's level 99 to 200 by now. So
Yes. Exactly.
they
Exactly.
they don't want to play the whole game again just for
Exactly.
10 minutes of new gameplay.
Okay. I
I
understand.
took out
So.
I took out the levels over 99. They were not working right.
Hmm.
They'll
Okay.
probably come back. I just need to find a different plug-in or something to do it differently. It
Okay.
wasn't working right.
Okay. Then I have a question. It's from iMatter. iMatter joined us at the end, maybe my last 2 or 3 streams regarding Divided Drains, but he just grabbed the final part of the story, but he had so many good things to say about the game.
Yeah, that's where he came from. He's very he talks a lot on our forums too.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, thank you.
No, the guy is an old school RPG lover. Just I think like all of us. We talk a lot about RPGs, and he just had one complaint about the game is when you have that full motion video when the castle is falling down and it hits the water, it doesn't create a tsunami. That's his only complaint. It's his only
That was
complaint.
originally in the plans. I was gonna
Okay.
have a tsunami, but I just again time restraints.
Okay, okay. Okay. No, but that was his only complaint. That was his only complaint. But he did like the game. So I'm happy that I'm just happy and sad at the same time. I'm happy he enjoyed, but I'm sad he didn't get from the start. But his question basically is, what difficulty did you had to make the game? Let's say, I know it's 4 years, right? I know at the end of the game you say thank you to our lovely wives to put up with us, but I want to know the real challenges. I don't want you to give a 1 hour reply because I'm pretty sure you could go 1 hour saying everything that went wrong. But let's focus on the main points that you had the hardest time. This goes to both Adam and Andrew. You because you had different parts of the game to do.
You take this first, Adam, because I want to go get something. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So I did most of the visuals. So I handled most of the contract work with commissions and, of course, doing the mapping myself. Learned the system. I never used RPG Maker before.
Mm-hmm.
I use Source Engine, Unity, all these other engines. RPG Maker, everyone says is you pick it up and play, which is true. You can pick it up and make a game that day, but it's going to be bare bones.
Yes, exactly.
So it takes just as much time to actually learn and really manipulate it to how you want it to look in game. But so that was probably one of the biggest challenges. Just simple things. If you're standing on a banister, you can very easily go from the banister to the ground floor. You had to figure out a way to be able to block it from happening.
Yes, exactly.
It's not as easy as definitely not as easy as other engines. You had to really manipulate it and trick the system into doing just very simple things.
Okay.
That was very tough. RPG Maker, like I said, if you want to start really trying to make something really kind of like how it should be, old school, you got to do a lot of tricks with it to make it work. And then commissions, that was always tough. Finding the right people, finding the right talent. And sometimes they might ghost you, take your money and run, that kind of thing. So,
yeah, that happens.
But I do want to say we ended up with some awesome long-term contract commissions. Our main character artist, her name's Luna. She nailed it. We worked with her for 3.5 years. She kind of works a
Getting
little
all the art.
slow, but that's okay. She worked a little slow, but I
Diligently.
mean, what would you say? 300 emails? I mean,
Probably.
easy.
Wow, wow, that's a
Fast
lot.
enough.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
So I mean, that's just the main character art. This isn't the music either. This isn't the enemy art, which was a lot more. So you can imagine how much work goes in behind the scenes, not in actual development mode. And you become really close to these people. They like Luna, for example, she sent us this huge package of like all the original artwork signed,
You still need to send me mine, by the way.
letters
Adam.
of appreciation, all that kind of stuff. I will.
Here's my book. I want my
Yeah.
book.
But I thought that was really cool. I never had to work with someone else so much before.
Okay.
Met.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and I'll let Andrew take over for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Before I answer that question, you mentioned at the very end of the game where we thank our wives and stuff. So there was people shot through this game. People were beating it in like a week and stuff. So right at the very end, I had to edit something. I didn't think this would be a problem. You'll understand what I'm talking about in a second.
Okay.
At the very end, where I congratulate Adam, who just got married.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And then I had a little announcement there that I didn't think would be a problem. You're supposed to wait about 3 months to announce this, and it would have been too early. But literally today, I can now announce this for the first time. So
Oh, congratulations! Congratulations!
Buddy.
Congratulations!
November 1st, I'm probably going to update. I just updated the game. I'll probably do it again and add that in there. And just say I want to kind of dedicate it to my future son.
Son.
Yeah.
Are you gonna name your son after Alfred, for example? Or,
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's got to be Alfred.
Yes. Yes.
So difficulties of developing this game. I learned a lot about myself through the development of this. I learned that I can have a big head sometimes. There were definitely times where Adam was like, "No, man, it's got to be this way," and I was bullheaded. And we struggled a few times. We had some fights. I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about working with other people and having humility and not thinking I always know the right answer to something, to everything. So it's been a pleasure working with Adam, even during the hard parts. The biggest struggles for me were the amount of time that this thing took. It took a lot more than I think either of us anticipated. And I'm very happy that I did it. I'm proud that of the product we've made. But man, it was a huge part of my life. It was 4 years of my life of, I'd say on average, every other evening working for several hours. Yeah, it has a toll on your health. It has a toll on your marriage, your relationships. It's a
Job.
lot. Yeah, there were definitely some days when I snuck in working on Divided Reigns instead of doing my day job stuff. So just like work-life balance, essentially, because this isn't either of our day jobs. That was a big challenge for me, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the entire process up until about the last 3 months. The last 3 months, there was a lot going on, a lot of little things going wrong, and little issues that ended up being big issues. Those last 3 months were difficult. But up until then, it was honestly a joy to make.
Well,
I think you have the most polished game in the world, and you put it in the hands of like 30 beta testers. God,
Rip it apart. Yep.
And
yeah.
here's Andrew getting ready to have a baby, and I'm getting married all in the same month. It was rough.
Sounds really stressful. Sounds really stressful.
A lot going on. We didn't realize how buggy our game was when we went to beta.
Yeah, you just need to put that game on the hand of gamers, and they'll find out every bug. Like even after the game released, I was on Twitch watching Adam play, and I was like, "Hey Adam, and this is happening, and this is happening." Adam goes like, "Hey man, just put it on the Steam page. Put it on the Steam page." So no, very minor things, very minor things, nothing game breaking. Okay, and then last question from the community. Which is, you were talking about the art style that you had a person named Luna working with you guys. The question from Hakusho basically is, he was raving always about, oh, this monster looks cool, this monster looks beautiful. He wants to know the inspiration for the art style. Well, of course, it wasn't you guys. I realized it wasn't you guys that did that. You asked someone to do that. But did you tell them, oh, I want this monster to be like this? Because we did find some fire monsters that looked a lot like Ifrit from Final Fantasy, for example. Then I think you have Quetzalcoatl that, well, it's... I'm not going to say it's similar because you can't get away because it's a mythical being, so you can't really change a lot. But I did... basically, Hakusho and the rest of us wants to know, where do you get the inspiration to create the monsters, or to suggest how to create the monsters?
For the most part, Andrew would, we had, I wouldn't say, we had bought stock art for a bulk of it. Andrew would throw it into the game. I would come behind him and play test, and we're like, I don't like the color of that, or I don't like to look at that monster for that specific thing.
Yeah.
So then that's when we got into actual commissions. So we kind of used the stock art as a placeholder. The stock art that we used came from, and a lot of people have been asking, it comes from the Unity store. It's quite a lot. It's like 500 images. It cost a lot. I think it was like $200 or something. That's actually very cheap for that much material.
Yeah.
So then that's when we would go into actually individually working on each monster. So every single monster in there, even though it's stock art, it has been tweaked or it has been changed to be custom with a commission. I use Drive-Thru RPG a lot. That's an awesome place. Granted, that's more for storytelling art, but talk to all the artists there who we use their stuff for, and they were all for it. They loved that we're using it for a video game. I guess they'd never done it for a video game before, so they were very happy. And then we had a couple artists that we found on DeviantArt and stuff like that. And, probably the biggest shout out should be NDK. She definitely delivered. We had a lot of female artists for some reason, but she really delivered. She did most of the main character enemy artwork. So
Virion's artwork.
Yep, and all the time you might face someone basically inhuman. And also we use a guy named Thalzon for a lot of artwork. He's actually a very big, generous contributor on RPG Maker community. He has all his artwork for free. And people like that deserve so much respect. And we got a couple of commissions from him as well. He did a really good job.
Okay, that's awesome. I need to ask you this. This is my question, but which one of the artists, which ones made the monsters on the final dungeon? Because those things were scary. Like, there was this slimy thing with the box. There was this demon. I was like, I thought I just got into a horror game or something, because they were really, really scary. I
designed the enemies.
Oh my god, they were really, like, we were reacting and like, oh my god, these monsters are so scary. Like,
I like the devil, the one that's called Devil.
The devil.
It's like kind of goat head, and he's doing like the creepy goat.
Yes.
Like the devil. That's creepy. I like that he does something totally unique to your characters that nobody else does. So
yeah. Every time I faced him, I just ran away. I just ran away. I just ran away. I like. Oh, sorry. So I'm gonna curse that. Not this shit again. I'm out of here. Right? I just ran away. Because yes, it's really unique. It kind of reminds me when you're doing the final boss, the final dungeon on Final Fantasy VII, and you faced the Tomberry. And like, you never face a Tomberry. I'm like, oh, this small thing, and you start walking, and then he goes like, boom, dead. Well, what the hell? What the hell? So it really reminded me of that. So every time I looked at him, I just ran away. I'm out. So we're going to the final two questions now. So one you already kind of replied, Andrew. But the question basically will be, what lessons will you take from creating Divided Reigns? You already gave part of a reply when I asked you the difficulties, and I think, well, some of the lessons you might took, it's probably in interpersonal relationships with your teammates. Now, let's not use partners, because I know there's a mix every time. But your teammate, with your teammate, yes, co-developer. Let's go co-developers. But with your team. But I'm gonna say, what lessons you take from creating the game? Let's say and how to create a game, like in the more practical, not in the interpersonal relationships. Let's in creating a story. Did you get a new process? Did you come up with the process of creating the game, like even if in storytelling or creating dungeons or something related like that? I want lessons that you will take for your future projects.
I think one of the things that could really help is you got a lead developer who's like he has a vision for everything how it should look. And Andrew started doing this and it started helping out a lot.
Yeah.
He would start drawing, and he's a horrible he's a horrible artist. But hey,
I'm a pretty good artist.
but so I got this little stick figure looking picture, but at least now I got a good idea of what he's wanting, especially for like designing the dungeons. Like you want traps.
Okay, let me interrupt.
Trap.
Let me interrupt before you continue. Uh, I want to know who was the sick person that came out with the Sonic dungeon. I had the worst. Oh my god, that was so. I never had such difficulty. I literally had to go to Adam. I was like, "How the hell did you pass this? How the hell?" I was having. Cause I'm not. Well, I'm not deaf. I don't have any problems hearing. But I was like this. Like I turned every sound off, and I'm going like, high, low, high, and then I go, it's not. I'm like, what the hell? That's the one that had the most trouble. I also like the thunder temple when you go up to the sky and you're using the crystals. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I was stressing out because where's that gem? I need to find that gem to go from one side. But the one that I had the hardest time it was in the Sonic temple, and then I went to the book and realized I can turn the aid on. Yeah, I didn't realize you can turn the aid on. Then I turned the aid on.
An addition we made later. Somebody suggested that. And
Yeah, because it was a really good addition. Or I would still be there. I promise, I would still be there. I wouldn't finish the game. I would still be there trying to finish. And that's what I really like in the game. I don't like nowadays. If you want a hard game, you go with Dark Souls and all that type of things. But you don't see a dungeon that makes you think a lot, like you used to play the Legend of Zelda's, the Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask had crazy dungeons, and I do miss that on RPGs nowadays. And it was so refreshing to find a dungeon like this that made me sweat so unique. Andrew, congratulations on that one. That's an amazing dungeon. Sorry, I interrupted.
He did the visuals. You're good. He did the visuals for. I'm pointing over here, but
he's over here from me.
Adam did the visuals, and I think that's a gorgeous temple.
Yes, it is. It is very gorgeous.
I like that. We try to make every different elemental temple unique to itself.
Yes.
And I really like that one. I really thought it was more unique than the others.
Yes.
But I have now tweaked the sounds. I made the sounds a little shorter for when you play the different singing bowls. So I think that should be a little easier for people to hear now.
I'll have to go back.
I was very proud of the temple.
And you should be. You should be. Because my now seriously my biggest. I did manage to do the first part. The first challenge I did it well. The second one was the hardest one because I thought it was too fast. The sound was going like it was really fast. So that was me having the hardest because. Another sound started right before the other one ended, so I was having some issue there. Trust me, I was having some issue. Like I said, I had to talk with Adam because of that, because I was getting pissed. I was getting frustrated at that but I loved it. That's why I'm smiling talking about that dungeon, because it's the one that gave me the most pain, but I think the most memorable. All of them, like you said, all unique, but this one was the most memorable.
20 years ago, basically, video games were such a new concept. Almost everything that came out was unique.
Yes.
Nowadays, there are so many games. The barrier for entry for game development is so much lower now. Almost anything you can imagine as a game exists already.
Yes.
Like, I have a great concept, and then you go Google it, and it already exists. So it's really hard to make unique stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried really hard to do unique things kind of within the JRPG style, and the Sonic Temple is one that I hoped was very unique. I have a music degree, and so I like to incorporate music and musical elements whenever I can.
musically challenged, so that was a difficult map for me as well.
I did write a little bit of the music for this game. I wrote like
Ah.
14 tracks for Einlanzer.
14. Okay.
You can, if you just if you type Einlanzer OST on YouTube, it'll list the authors, so you can hear the ones that I wrote if you want. But a few of them, I kind of reuse them for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple tracks, like the game over music is something I wrote.
Okay, I will have to listen to that. I will have to listen to that because hey, if this game has this great music, I really want to see the one since you are a music composer. I'm gonna listen, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure I will play Einlaser on my stream. I will get that game and I will play it
Awesome.
because I want to see it because I found something very very interesting. This game doesn't have, but Einlander has, which is the karma system, because there was some points on the game that you have to make certain decisions, and at the time this happened when it's Matt and Margaret, when it's like little side quests that you have to find. I did the right thing, which was stupid, but I said it was Matt and Margaret, and then Margaret gets killed. She's
you get
killed.
a better reward
I-
if you pick the right culprit, but then
No,
it's gonna be a ban.
and there's something that I want to. Damn it! I should have done this because there's an achievement to get the answer partially right. So I was like, oh no, I have to do everything again to get this trophy. So no, but and one of the reasons I want to try Einlander is because I'm a really big fan of these decision makings, because I kind of get stressed. Did I do the right decision? And I want to try Einlander. When Adam told me that there was no consequences, that was on a previous game, I was like, okay, so took the chill. I get to chill a little bit longer. It's okay. I can choose this. They won't get mad at me. I won't have a bad ending. But I'm going to get Einlander. I'm not saying now because I'm starting I Am Tetsuna, but in the near future, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try it because I fell in love with. It sounds like an ending, but I'm not ending. I still have one more question. I fell in love with your story. I fell in love with the character. I fell in love with the world, and I really can't wait to revisit in the future when you start adding things. I would gladly, like, usually when I finish a game, I just uninstall and there it goes. Now I got religious. The Divided Range is there religiously waiting for me to open it again to play. And talking about questions, let's finish this off with: do you have any plans for the future? Game-wise, well, Andrew, I know what your plans for the future now. You're gonna be a daddy. You're gonna be a daddy. So, but
That's gonna be my focus for the next few
yes,
years.
yes, that's gonna be your focus for the next few years. So that's an easy reply. But I've heard that someone's focused on a new game. Isn't that right, Adam?
That's right. So, like I said, RPG Maker was the great engine. Nothing wrong with it, but we do feel that we do need to start moving into a different engine. So we're going to move into probably, I said Unity, Unreal Engine.
Unreal
but
Engine, that's good.
Yeah, I got a little experience there, but basically, I'm going to start it out. I'm just going to kind of make it completely, and then that should give Andrew over here, a good 3 years of undisturbed, no,
Yes.
just worrying about, getting woke up every night.
Yes.
I'll give him plenty of time, and then once I'm ready, just have him come in, kind of write the story, and really what we're going to look at is just going to be a kind of proof of concept game, just like how he kept saying what Yolanda was. It's a little different mentality. We're actually just going to kind of make this game just to really focus in on the combat, animations, artwork, all that kind of stuff, and we're going to keep the story pretty short actually.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about a 4 or 5 hour game, which means about 500 hours of work, and
Okay.
just kind of go off of that, and then use that as a prelude to the main game that we'll work on together. After
Interesting. Okay, I like that idea. I like that idea. And trust me, when I say this, I'll be the first one in line to try that out. Because it's, I think I still have to try Einlanzer, but if it's as good as the story, at least it's as good as it is, then I think you have golden hands and you're doing the right thing. And again, I
The
will.
polish
Yes,
with Ironlancer is
yes,
much lower, especially visually.
understand,
But
understand.
story-wise, especially the further you get into the game, I really put a lot
You
into it as
know,
well.
this is my belief. Nowadays, you can usually make a beautiful visually game. You can make it beautiful, but I think people rely too much on what the eye see and not what the ears hear. So I think that again, this game might not be the most visually beautiful game in the world because, of course, it's not current gen graphics. But one thing's for sure: the way that you guys use music and the way that you apply the stories, the character development, it's a AAA game when it comes to me. I think it's AAA quality, and I congratulate you guys
Thanks a
with
lot.
it.
Thank you.
I really do. Like, I wasn't expecting, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have to be honest. I was talking with.
There are a lot of bad RPG Maker games.
Sorry.
No. But I'll explain. When Andrew talked to me, and now this is a story from my part. When Andrew talked to me the first time, he said, "Oh, would you do this? If you don't want to try, you do a shout out." Well, sure, I'll do it. And I was talking with my best friend. And I was like, "Hey, some guys asked me to try this game out." Like, sorry, but this is the way. Some guys asked me to try this game out, and he goes like, "Are you gonna do it?" "Yeah, why not?" And he goes like, "Well, at least it's a free game." Like, yeah, I wasn't expecting to get in love with this game, and I'm telling you now, I'm just well, everything's a bit complicated, but when I get my money at the end of the month, I will buy a copy to give away on my stream. I will buy a copy, I promised. I just haven't done that yet because, expenses how it is. But when I get my money this week, I will buy one and I will do a giveaway on my stream because I'm getting a lot of people. So I will support you. I know you guys gave me a copy to try it out, but I want to support you guys because, like I said, I really like the game. I really like the game. And I think you deserve all the luck in the world, the most success. And if more people get their eyes on this game, the more they will talk, and maybe someone with a lot of money will grab both of your talents, and you can make this like for a proper living because I think both of you have a lot to give to the gaming world. If you continue like this, you have a lot to give to the gaming world. And guys, people on my channel that are watching this, because again I'm gonna tape this. Follow them. There's the link down below. Follow them. Follow their Twitter. Follow everything because what these guys have prepared to the future, I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be magical because I trust what they did with this game. I trust what they did with Einlanzer, and I trust what they will do in the future. Adam, Andrew, thank you so much for giving me this chance. Thank you so much. You guys are like my first ever interview. How was it, by the way? Was it good?
Oh, very
Very
good.
good.
Man,
Uh,
thank you very much. This exposure means the world to us.
yeah.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, guys, I'm out. Bye.
All right.
I'm just gonna say the things on my channel. Please leave a like, a comment, hit the bell icon. You know all those good things that make us grow, and support these guys as well. Okay. Bye.
Thank you very much, man.
Bye, guys.